let us continue on with the show.
Yeah, do you want to jump right into Spotify bricking its thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I had completely forgotten about the car thing.
Yes.
Okay, so it's an accessory.
I didn't forget about it. I never knew it existed.
/ infotainment device. And the idea was to be able to have Spotify in a car that doesn't have Android Auto or doesn't have CarPlay, or maybe you just don't feel like using Android Auto or CarPlay, and you just wanted this dedicated device to connect to Spotify. And what's kind of cool about it is that people weren't just using it in their cars. I saw, was it Snazzy Lads? I don't know, it was someone on the internet said that they kind of used it in their workshop, but basically it was just an interface that allowed you to interface with Spotify. It was invite only, and it was launched in April of 2021 and then launched publicly in February of 2022 for $90. It was then pulled from sale just 5 months later, meaning that many users who own these devices have had them for less than 2 years, and nobody who has one has had it for more than about 3 years. Now, just this week, Spotify, okay, hold on. First of all, Spotify began notifying people that the car thing will be discontinued as of December 9th of this year, and it will be rendered completely inoperable. So not only are they discontinuing it, they're actually going, okay, this is the date, this is the hard date, throw it in the garbage. It gets better.
I don't understand.
I mean, worse. Sorry, worse. That was a verbal typo. It gets worse. Spotify is neither offering a refund, nor is it even offering a store f***ing credit. It is basically going, hey, thanks for your $90. We hope you enjoyed the limited amount of time that you had to own that product that I don't know. I guess this is now a retroactive lease agreement.
I think you might have basically just specified this, but when was the last, when could someone have ordered it the same day that it was discontinued?
No. People could have ordered this as recently as March, April, May, June, July, as recently as the summer of 2022.
Okay.
So a little less than 2 years ago. That's wild, though.
I don't get it. I don't understand why, I could understand saying, okay, we're going to end of life this thing. It's not going to receive updates. But it would probably keep working for a pretty considerable amount of time.
Well, yes and no, because whatever API hooks it might rely on, maybe it doesn't. And I mean, this is a funny one to me because it is mind-blowing to me. My understanding, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong here, my understanding is that it's just like an Android-based, pretty simple thing. So from my point of view, I don't really see the reason why this wouldn't have just been like running the Android app in the background and the interface wouldn't have just been the same as any other device. In which case, to Luke's point, there's no reason it couldn't just keep working for a very long period of time. Kind of like when Pebble stopped getting updates to the app.
Yeah.
Dude, that worked for years.
Yeah, they didn't actually kill it.
Yeah, they didn't actively shut it down.
Yeah. People are trying to sell them. I'm finding ebay.ca. People are trying to sell them.
So the only reason I can think of for them to actively kill it right now would be if they created some kind of custom backend or custom interface for it to interact with. And this is something that maybe you can explain to me, okay? Because I don't understand it. When I read comments in the YouTube Creator Studio app, you've talked to me about this before. Yeah, I've talked to you about this. Okay, they are not the same as the ones that are publicly accessible. Okay, so for example, if I sort by newest, the Creator Studio app will be like missing a bunch of them. And if I go sort by newest on the live site, they're all there. There's more of them there. Why the ever-loving do they have 2 databases of the comments on this video? No. Hold on. Stop typing. Stop typing now.
What they're typing. Yeah,
I know what they're typing too. Okay, YouTube is a massive service that has people accessing it from all over the world. It operates at a scale that is barely imaginable to the lay person. They absolutely have geo-replicated servers running their services. I get it. That's not what this is.
I don't think it's that.
And I know this. I know this for a fact. I'm hooking into a separate, for whatever reason that I can't possibly fathom. It's a subset. Why? Why would you redo work? Help me.
Well, I don't think they did redo work. I don't think they're pulling from two different data sets. I'm not necessarily sure what's going on. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but I don't know how the thing is built. And I mean, this isn't my actual job either. So I'm sure developers out there could give a better answer. But to me, it feels like you have probably two different front end solutions, pulling in different ways, pulling at different times. Why the creator one? Like you're saying, it doesn't have ones that are on the live one. That feels almost backwards to me.
Yeah,
I would feel like the creator one would pull like more frequently.
You would think that. That's what I would think.
So the fact that it works the other way around feels weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't fully explain it personally.
Okay.
Like personally, if I was building this thing, I would expect them to act identically.
Well, yeah.
I can understand how there would be two different entire teams. Like the team that works on the YouTube Studio app is probably a team of people that is completely different.
But why are they doing anything other than tapping into the same API? Why?
So they could, but they could in a different way.
Okay, why?
Maybe they pull comments less frequently, whatever else.
But why?
They probably don't talk to each other, so they don't necessarily know how the other team's doing it. I would think that there would be some form of standardized thing, but like I have no idea. I haven't worked at a company in that scale, and it just doesn't make sense to me at all. So I'm trying to make assumptions about something that I don't get how it would become that way. But
yeah, it's a baffling thing, dude. There was
I think it's teams not directly communicating with each other, accessing the same repository but in different ways, and that's creating a frustrating experience. But
and there was another discrepancy that I found a while back that just completely broke my brain. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up because I sent it to our YouTube rep, who is a wonderful human being and one of my favoriteest persons that I've ever had the pleasure of dealing with at a tech company. Oh, this is a funny one.
Might even be the same repo.
This is separate.
I don't know.
All right. Anyway, what is the Yeah. Here we go. So I sent a follow-up in March. So a couple of months ago. Creator Studio mobile app shows 98 replies on this thread. Second screenshot is showing everything that shows up when I scroll all the way down. Come on, folks. So you can have a look at my screenshots here. This is the Creator Studio app. So it even managed to log the number of replies there are supposed to be. Okay, and this is... Oh, dang it. Great. Here we go. And then here is everything that comes up. That's all of them. That's every reply. There is no more room to scroll. It's like 8. And when I accessed it publicly, because the reason that I was drawn to this one in particular was because I had replied to it. So I replied to it, and I was checking in on replies to my reply because it was an active conversation. I not only can only see these 8 responses, I can't see my own fucking message.
When had you sent? Is there a time thing? So are all those messages from before a certain period of time? Because this is what a decent amount of my theory is leaning on.
So I think those messages are, I think it is truncated here. But what I can't imagine is any reason why.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the whatever's pulling it is not happening at the same rate that it happens on the live.
No, because I could go back ages later and they still wouldn't be there.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, so this is the kind of stuff. You guys think you got your new YouTube interface and you're all mad about that. Guys, that is the least of their problems. They can't even figure out how many fucking comments are in a chain. Like, man, I remember
form of
I remember
sync
talking to
something, I'm not
someone at YouTube about this years ago. I was like, look, if you guys want to be a social media platform, you could be the biggest social media platform, like practically overnight, but you've got to deal with comments. You've got to deal with user-to-user interaction because it's a cluster bomb right now. And to their credit, they've done a lot with respect to moderation, automatic moderation of like bots and stuff like that. It's not perfect, but it's so much better than it was a year or two ago. But the fact that they don't have
Still
like
pretty bad.
I can't imagine.
People aren't posting like ASCII tanks anymore, but there sure is a lot of other spam.
There's a lot less porn spam. A lot less. Like way less. And it's far less overt. There's no more WhatsApp numbers and usernames. They have cut down on look.
What I'm seeing a ton of, and I'm seeing this ubiquitously on every video on the platform, is
Amazon's groundbreaking new cryptocurrency. I haven't actually seen a lot of those lately either. Sorry, go ahead.
Is replies that look extremely real, and then you look at the little photo. And you're like,
I still come across a lot of those, but
I see those all the time.
Dude, what's even the point of those?
Those have got to perform a lot worse.
Yeah, those can't be that effective. So in terms of cutting down on the...
I wouldn't be too surprised if there are some...
But those comments, a lot of the time...
depraved users clicking on profiles hoping.
Sure. Look, we can acknowledge the improvement.
If it didn't work, they wouldn't do it.
But we can acknowledge the improvement. They don't do it as much.
Yes.
It's
close. It's improved. So the names needing to not be like phone numbers and WhatsApp IDs and stuff. That's a big improvement.
Okay. So I know that it's been at least a conversation, I don't know internally at Google, but externally to Google for years, that what they should be doing is they should be doing like a more of a Reddit style upvoting and downvoting system if they really want to improve comment quality. And
do they not? Is there not? Can you not downvote on YouTube?
You can upvote and downvote, but what you can't have is conversation threads within a parent comment. Okay, so you can't have like multiple branches off of a
that
parent.
Actually gets pretty confusing when people are replying to each other within. That does get confusing.
So this ended up on, speaking of Reddit, this ended up on the LTT subreddit when I replied to someone on the pool cleaning robot video, and people started kind of saying, Linus is super aggressive and defensive here, when they thought I was replying to the parent comment. But what I was actually replying to was one of the comments that was a sub-comment under it by the original poster. So because I added them, the assumption was that it was replying to the parent comment, but it wasn't. I was directly addressing things that they had said. And when some people noticed and were like, actually, people were like, oh, what he said makes way more sense because he was actually replying to a completely different comment. But it gets even better, and this is where I'm going with this. Tying back to the mobile app, when I sort by newest, I can't see if a comment is a parent or child comment. So I never even knew that the original post existed. I replied directly to their reply to their own comment, not knowing that it was a child comment rather than a parent comment. So when I saw some of the backlash to what I said, I was completely thrown for a loop. I was like, YouTube, we can't live with you. We can't live without you. Hey, thanks for this career. Anywho, Spotify, what should they do? What can they do to make this right? Because, I mean, it's not going to do us any good to just say, oh, yeah, Spotify, bad people, I hate them forever. What can they do now?
Some amount of store credit would probably be good, at the very least.
Is that enough? How much? It was a $90 device. This is not this is not some throwaway meme product. This is something people bought for nearly $100. I mean, probably $100 by the time they pay for shipping for it. I don't know if they free shipped it, but whatever. In the neighborhood of $100. That's not like meme, I bought it at the dollar store money.
Yeah. I don't know. You have to be able to stop supporting things eventually.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And whatever reason they did it for, the way it interfaces with Spotify is not in a generic way that will continue to work until some unforeseeable time in the future. So yeah, you've got to be able to discontinue stuff, but like this clearly isn't right.
Too early. They did stop selling it, a year and a half ago, so that's good. You should I believe you should give it more legs than that. And then...
I mean, it isn't turning off for another 7 months, so it will have been 2.5 years by the time it actually turns off.
In my opinion, you should never really like deactivate things. Just let them rot eventually. I don't know.
I'd want to see...
I don't think you're going to be able to allow... Like, my brain wants to... is thinking about, like, when games shut down, and we always ask them, like, make it so other people can... Yeah. I don't think that's necessarily going to be able to happen, because this isn't... Like, you probably can't, like, plug a USB into this thing and, like, reprogram it.
I mean...
Easily.
If it is it Android-based? Does anyone know? Because if it is, then you almost certainly could.
I've never seen one.
I mean...
So I could be wrong. You 100% can? Okay. Well, then they should do that.
Yeah. I mean, and look.
It's Linux-based? Why don't they do that? Okay. Can people just do that anyways?
Can I make an argument? Hold on.
It's hackable.
Wait, 1 second. I know, but we're going to get there.
Excited.
We're going to give me a second.
All right.
I can understand.
I was hanging out I was having a good time.
I know that.
We were vibing.
I know. That's why I took it away. I just hate seeing joy on your face. I can understand why they might not necessarily be able to do that. There may be intellectual property concerns in the code, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
There could be.
Okay.
There could be.
Okay.
However, I think at the very least, some kind of nudge or facilitation for the open source community to take it over is in order here. I understand why legal might not have allowed it, but I hate this. This is such a terrible precedent. It's such a terrible way of behaving as a company that it almost doesn't really matter what the legal advice was. You've got to find a way to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And the right thing is obviously to make it able to continue to work. Yeah. And the very, very least they could have done is to not actively brick it.
So apparently people have already done a USB unlock of it. There's already a jailbreak.
Yes.
What I think would be pretty sick, in my opinion.
There's apparently a subreddit already. I love it.
Car thing hacks. Nice. What I think would be pretty sick is if they gave some Spotify developer time to the open source project.
I think that would be such, even if they're still going to shut it down in December or whatever, I think that would be such a good faith, good guy move that people would be willing to look past a lot of the crappiness of this situation overall.
Yeah, because it's not great. It hasn't been conducted great so far. And they can't commit, I'm just going to defend them slightly. They can't commit to this forever.
No, you can't support something forever.
But if they're like,
and that's the problem with smart devices. That's why I didn't buy that floor cleaning robot, because I told you about that conversation, right? Where I was like, okay, but like,
what happens if you go bankrupt?
Does it operate without your cloud thing? And they're like, well, yeah, it's not going to go away. And I'm like, right, but if it does, what happens? Is it a brick? Well, yeah, but we're doing great. We're not going to go away. I'm like, you a fucking idiot? I'm not going to buy, it was like $18,000 or something like that. I'm not going to spend that kind of money on something that just turns off.
A lot of things like that, like infrastructure like that, is going to be in deployment for the entire existence of that building.
I could expect that robot to work for 25 years. I don't know. Even if your company doesn't go under, you could get acquired by someone who doesn't give two shits about floor cleaning robots. Maybe they want to use your automated pathfinding technology for a military application or something. They don't care about my stupid badminton building.
Yeah, see you later.
You never know. Yeah. You don't know.
Yeah. But so I think that would actually be very cool, is if Spotify software developers, Spotify software engineers were given a little bit of time. It has to be limited. It's not going to be able to be a ton. They're discontinuing this for a reason, but a decent amount of time, enough time to make a really solid contribution to the open source project. Don't take it over. Don't have anyone become leads on it or anything, but try to contribute really heavily and get it to a point where the open source community is like pretty stoked on it, and then just let them have it and leave. And that's not like a happy ending, but it's a neat ending.
I don't think it's that kind of device. I mean, I'm sure in open source that does exist.
I'm sure it does too.
All right.
Oh man.
What is our next topic going to be?
Imagine.
The fact that he can't even get it out. This is not a good sign.
He's never had this
You know what?
problem
Go for it.
before.
Go
He's
for it. I haven't been canceled in a while.
Just imagine being like, yeah, you know what? This isn't good enough. I need to push contributing code. Imagine like just having that thought.
Open source, open legs.
I need some people to test this one.
So you gotta push the contributing code, then you gotta pull it.
I'm on the alpha version of the new thing.
I need early access to all the features.
Works with Android 15.
Oh man.